Hello and welcome to Baji Rao IAS Academy. We have been discussing ethics questions of 2023 mains examination. Till yesterday we have discussed up to question number 4. Now in this lecture we will discuss some of the more questions which are given in 2023 ethics question paper. So the fifth question today we will be discussing is it is all about kindness. Now, kindness is a very important value when it comes to ethics. Now, it says the simplest acts of kindness are far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. So, this particular quote is given by Mahatma Gandhi. Now, this quote has been emphasizing on the importance of kindness for human beings, whether it is towards the fellow human beings, whether it is for the marginalized and weaker sections of the society. So, if you remember Gandhi's talisman, that also emphasized on the value of kindness. So, therefore, Mahatma Gandhi emphasizes on the simplest acts of kindness. So they are more powerful than bowing our heads for prayers. So in this particular question, first you need to define what constitutes kindness. And after defining kindness, why kindness is a most powerful tool or a most powerful value. Now, when you are writing points, you have to give examples to justify whatever you are saying, that that justifies kindness is a most powerful or more powerful value. Now in the first part of the answer, as I have told you, that you have to define what constitutes kindness. So this quote is given by Mahatma Gandhi, and this particular quote emphasizes on the impact of the kindness, the impact of the value of kindness, because the value of kindness, resulting in helping others who are in need. So if we define kindness, kindness actually refers to the quality of being friendly, generous and considerate. So human beings need to be friendly, and they have to be generous with others, and particularly helping those who are in need. Now, in this context, there's an example also given. In this example, Mahatma Gandhi showed kindness. How he showed kindness? When he was traveling to South Africa. When he was traveling to South Africa on a train, when he was trying to board a train, one of his shoes comes off. So, when one of his shoes comes off, he immediately left the another shoe as well. So why? Because if someone else find that shoe, that one shoe, then he or she will, he will be able to use that shoe, the another shoe as well. So if he left another shoe, then both the shoes will be useful for someone else. So this is one such example of showing kindness towards others. So this also shows lack of selflessness on the part of Mahatma Gandhi. So this is one such example. Generally, it is advisable that first you write a brief definition of what the value the question has been emphasizing on, and then give an example also below the introduction, so that it gives you a good impression on your answer. Now, after writing introduction, you just have to address the key concern of the question. So, what exactly the present relevance of kindness in contemporary times? Because of there is a growing individualism among human beings. So, whenever there has been a growing individualism, the value of kindness, you know uh, people will not give enough importance to the value of kindness, the value of sharing and caring. So therefore the present, it is very important to understand the present relevance of the value of kindness. See, Whenever a person practices the value of kindness, it will also encourage others to do the same thing. For example, if a person responds with kindness and another person sees the same, and the other person will also respond in a kind manner. Okay, so therefore, overall, it contributes to a more positive community, and not just more positive community, but also more compassionate and empathetic society, because everyone have been developing the value of kindness, and that is very important for developing a compassionate and caring society. So if we write an example, we can write about Padmashri awardee Sindhu Tai Sapkal. So despite she was an unwanted child to her parents, she devoted her entire life raising orphaned children. So this is how she's shown compassion towards the weaker sections of the society or deprived sections of the society. So this is how living a life with kindness. And whenever there has been an increasing kindness among the individuals, so it makes the entire world a happier place, a better place for life, a better place to live. Because when all people have been showing kindness towards each other, not just towards each others but also towards the fauna and flora, then it will develop, or it boosts the feeling of confidence among the individuals. Now the feeling of confidence will further result in happiness and optimism. Now if we mention examples of how with the value of kindness the world becomes more and more happier, we can mention about a Delhi rag picker Pritima Devi, because she used to take care of around 200 stray dogs. So therefore she was more compassionate, and she shown compassion and kindness towards the creatures who otherwise helpless. So this can be considered as a small act of kindness towards the creatures. And so whenever someone has the value of kindness, whenever he or she shows the value of kindness, it will gives it gives the feeling of fulfillment. So if we quote Mahatma Gandhi, what he said, according to Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So this is an aligned with the principle that is Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. Okay, the service to fellow human beings. And the very same quote you can also write in conclusion, so that it gives extra value to your answer. So if we mention an example for this, there's an example in Mumbai. There's an initiative. The initiative is known as Mumbai ke liye kuch bhi karega. The spirit. So this particular project involves several young volunteers. So they come forward and take care of the needs of the deprived sections, the marginal sections of the society who need help from others. So therefore, it also gives a feeling of fulfillment among individuals, and overall, it helps to satisfy one's own conscience. We will not suffer with the crisis of conscience. Crisis of conscience, why we did not help someone. So therefore, it gives a feeling of a fulfillment of conscience, satisfaction of one's own conscience, and it will also build a peaceful and more compassionate society. Now when we when we show kindness towards others, when we demonstrate kindness, so it in fact enhances our own capacity, because kindness is at the root of empathy and compassion towards others, right? So it will also enables the individuals to perceive world through another's viewpoint. So when we are showing kindness towards other people, so we are imagining a world from the perspective of their own understanding. So we are understanding their feelings, and we are helping them to come out of their difficult times. So this definitely gives a new perspective. New perspective means we can understand their problems, and we can also find out solutions, whether a particular individual or a community. And that's a very important to build a peaceful and more sustainable society. And the next point is the kindness. As I have already told you, it will help us satisfy our conscience. Now satisfaction of conscience will ultimately result in more physical and mental well-being of individuals. Now nowadays the physical and mental trauma, mental stress has been building up because of excessive individualism and not showing, not demonstrating kindness towards others. So, in a way, that results in isolation, self isolation, or isolation of oneself from the society and the community. And in a way, that builds, a physical and mental stress within the individuals. So, in fact, when we show kindness, then that reduces the blood pressure and also stress. So it gives a relief from stress, and it will also reduce blood pressure. So it overall produces or promote the health in the face of detrimental effects of sedentary lifestyles. So sedentary lifestyles are more of individualistic lifestyles, not understanding others problems, and not even trying to understand and do something to solve their problems. So therefore kindness overall helps in promoting physical and mental health among individuals. So however there are certain religions also, so those religions have been emphasizing on the value of kindness. We know that India is a multicultural society. So in a multicultural society there are different religions. So almost all religions have been emphasizing on the value of kindness, how kindness is very important. We can say it is the central value of all religions because it promotes altruism among individuals. It will also develop the method of sharing is caring. So firstly, when we talk about religion, Hinduism, Bhagavad Gita is a Hindu religious text, and that promotes the value of kindness. We need to show kindness towards the other individuals. Now in fact, Bhagavad Gita also says kindness is at the root of the dharma. Now, in Hinduism, dharma signifies a very important value. So, Bhagavad Gita directly says that kindness is at the root of the value of dharma. So, therefore, every individual who is, in order to practice dharma, he should also practice the value of kindness. And in fact, in Islam also, the concept of hukuk ul idab. So this particular concept has also been emphasizing on the value of being kind and sympathetic towards the fellow human beings. So therefore the kindness as a value has also been derived from religious text, religious scriptures. So therefore every individual have to practice the value of kindness. So we talk about the importance of the value of kindness, how it is a more important value because of the multiple benefits and multiple advantages the value of kindness holds. It should be practiced. When we talk about the value of kindness in the international relations, it develops soft power. For example, so India has been first to respond during 2014 Nepal earthquakes, and even India has been, providing assistance, medicines, food to people of Afghanistan because they are facing the humanitarian crisis, and India has been showing kindness, the value of kindness. So therefore, it develops the value of soft power for India, and soft power is more reliable and sustainable in the long term. So hence the value of kindness is very important. Now when you write conclusion for this answer, so you can just conclude by writing the importance or the essence of kindness. So kindness calls for people to translate one's religious and personal beliefs. So whatever personal beliefs and religious beliefs we hold, those beliefs should be translated into meaningful values. So the meaningful values like kindness, so that values, that kindness will help uplift and support other individuals who are in need. So this is how you can conclude this answer. So the next question is with respect to women. So one important trend in UPSC mains examination is almost every year in every paper GS1 to GS4, UPSC has been asking questions about women. So the question asks to awaken the people, it is the women who need to be awakened. So awakened means they need to be empowered. So they have to have a meaningful participation in the society. So therefore, in order to awaken the people, in order to awaken not just family, but also entire nation and the society, we must awaken or empower women. Because once she is on the move, once she is on her journey through empowerment, the family moves, the village moves, and also nation moves. So women have the transformative role in the society. So she can play, a revolutionary role in transforming the landscape of the family, village, and also nation. So this is the quote given by our former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, in this context, we need to emphasize on the importance of the importance of empowerment of women in a society like ours. And similarly, when we write points, you have to give examples of women leaders and also different women role models who really brought change in their families, the villages, and also at the national level, so that the answer would be more and more attractive. So in the introduction, so you can just mention about any quote, so that emphasizes on the empowerment and the need for awakening women. So if we talk about that, so there's a quote, and you may come across this quote as well. So this quote says, if you educate a man, you educate a individual, but if you educate a woman, you educate the entire nation. Because when we educate a woman, so that could have a spillover effect, the multiplier effect. So because she educates her children, she educates her fellow woman. Because when a woman part of self-help groups, so she also educate her fellow woman members of that particular society. And when a woman educate herself, so she is also part of farmer cooperatives, then she will also educate such cooperative. and she will also educate the elders and her spouse in that particular family. So therefore, the quote rightly mentioned that if we educate a man, we educate an individual, but if we educate a woman, we educate the entire nation. So this is a very important quote, and whenever you have asked a question about women, you can mention this quote either in the conclusion or in introduction, so that it could be a more impactful. So what is woman empowerment? So what exactly is the meaning of woman empowerment? So women empowerment is defined as promoting women's sense of self-worth. So women have a certain self-worth. She is not, subordinate to any other individual. She is not subordinate to her husband. She is not subordinate to her in-laws. So it is a sense of realizing the self-worth of a woman, and it also involves their ability to determine their own choices. So their own choices, they are able to take decisions, independent decisions, so about different aspects in the family, in the village, and in the different aspects. And it also involves the right to influence the social change for themselves and for others, because there are several women out there who are fighting for women education, who are also emphasizing on the political participation of women. So they are fighting against the institution of patriarchy, and particularly the Pati Panchayat system at the grassroots level. So therefore, women empowerment involves the ability and their sense of realizing the self-worth, and it also involves influencing the choices and changes at the social level and also at different levels. So therefore, uh, we have introduced this question. So after writing introduction, so you just address what has been asked in the question. So the question asks to empower, to awaken the people of any country or any village. So women must be awakened. So why women must be awakened? Because generally woman is a first point of contact. Okay, so between a child and her role. So therefore, when woman is the first point of contact for a particular child, so that results in healthy socialization for a child. The child could get better education, better health care, and the child could develop the values of punctuality, discipline, and also it plays a very important role in, molding the child to be a better citizen for tomorrow. So therefore, overall, woman at the family level grooms the personality of the child or molds the personality of the child. So there's an example. Her name is Swarupa Rani. So she was the mother of Jawaharlal Nehru, former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. So Miss Swarupa Rani cultivated cultural values. So she used to say, Mahabharata and Ramayana stories to former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. So through those stories, she used to cultivate cultural values within uh, Jawaharlal Nehru when he was child. And apart from that, the woman awakening or woman empowerment has a very crucial role in social development or social capital development. In any society, social capital plays a very important and a very crucial role, because social capital is very often considered as a very important asset for inclusive and all-round development of any nation. So therefore, woman awakening and woman empowerment plays a very important and a very crucial role in social capital development. So when a society has a highest social capital, a good number of people with values, then that society develop with peace and prosperity. So we can give the example of the Nordic countries and also the Scandinavian countries. So if we look at the different index given by different indexes and the rankings, we often see that these countries, the Scandinavian countries, often come the first place. The reason being is because they have a huge social capital. And if we mention one example, so the broken family and lack of care and proper child care. There was a Delhi gang rape incident that took place in the year 2012 December. So in that Delhi gang rape case, the convicts of this crime, they have committed such a heinous crimes. It is because of the broken families. So there was lack of adequate care at even at the stage of when they were child. So these reasons have led to commit such a heinous crime against a woman. So therefore, in this context, women at the level of family could play a proactive role and a very important role in molding a child in developing values through proper childcare. So we should also discuss about the role of women in building family, village, and nation. So what exactly, first we need to talk about the role of women at the level of family and the role of a woman at the level of village and also at the level of nation. So firstly, when we talk about the role of women, so women have a very crucial role at the family level. So she used to take care of the education of her children, health care of elderly in the family. So she used to, she despite facing several limitations, she has a very crucial role at the family level because she has a very crucial role when it comes to socialization of children, molding children to be a better citizens for tomorrow. And when uh, a woman performs her role at the family level, that results in social cohesion and social integration, and she also takes care of the family, so therefore it meet the needs for nutrition and health within the family. So we can mention one example. The example is, so the future health of a child is no doubt depends on woman, because when a woman comes up with adequate nutrition interventions for the particular child for the first 1,000 days of life, that determines the future health of a child. So hence the empowered woman or the awakened woman can easily take care of not only the child's health but also the entire family's health and nutrition. So when she is able to take care of the health and nutrition of the family, so that is the foundation and that is the root of a healthy India. Okay, at the family level she is taking care of the health and nutrition of the family, and that ultimately results in healthy India. So this is the role of woman at the family level. So when we talk about the role of woman at the level of village, so we can mention the example of Kudumbashri. So this is a very 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 important example, so you can use your in your answers. So Kudumbashri actually a self-help group program in the state of Kerala, where women collectively mobilize finances, and these finances will be used for the benefit of the community of self-help groups. So therefore at the village level also they play a very transformative role. So the transformative role means women's decision making power will increase, and women will also dismantle the existing, the social, the social features, the social structures which are stereotyping and showing biasness, prejudices against women. So therefore, at the level of village also, women play a very important role, and at the national level, so women have a very important contribution, because we all know that women is part of around 50 percentage of total population. So 50% population are men and 50% population are women approximately. Okay, so therefore women have a very crucial role to play when it comes to the contribution in GDP. So even though they have a very less participation in the workforce, a very less participation in the workforce, so they have been contributing for the GDP as well. So despite the care economy is not part of the GDP measuring or GDP calculation. So therefore, adequate interventions like education, women's participation in STEM fields. STEM fields include science, technology, engineering, and medicine. So women increasing enrollment in higher education, along with skilling of women, would result in increasing India's GDP by around 27%. So this was the prediction given by the IMF chief Christina Lagarde. So therefore women have a very crucial role at the level of family, village, and even at the national level. Now women also plays a very important and active role when it comes to social awakening. How? Because there are several social evils even in the contemporary times also. So they are detrimental against women. For example, child marriages. So they are often detrimental to women education at the rural areas. Women education. So not just child marriages, but also female feticides, and women very often considered as a source of misery still continues this phenomenon, and child sex ratios have been significantly declining, and even in the rural areas women education has been discouraged when compared to their male counterparts. So therefore women can play a very active role in fight against these social evils which we have discussed, and they also fight for the rights of women. So they have a right to adequate education, adequate health care, and meaningful participation in politics, and they can also be part of economic activities. So there's an example, a woman called Kalpana Datta. So she contributed for the women's right movement in India. So therefore she actively worked for the women education and women empowerment. And when more and more such women are coming forward for fighting against the social evils, and they are propagating the importance of women education and women empowerment, we can achieve the vision of gender equality. So please also remember, gender equality is one of the sustainable development goals. So this is part of the sustainable development goal number 5. And sustainable development goal gender equality is very very important for a country like India, because it will result in an equitable society, an egalitarian society, and women's economic participation will also substantially increase the GDP. After that, the economic empowerment of women is also very important. When women have been actively participating in the economic activities, so that could be resulting in independent decision making of women. Independent decision making of women. So she would be financially self-reliant. Financially self-reliant. So therefore, economic empowerment of women is also very important. So in this context, women have been contributing for the family income, and they have also been contributing for the national GDP. So they are contributing for the family and also GDP. So if we write here some numbers, it says that the studies have been saying that women invest around 90% of their income in the family when we compare it with men, because men reinvest just 30 to 40% of their income. So because since women have been investing more and more money in the family, so therefore women's economic empowerment and women's economic participation is also very important and very crucial. So therefore, after that, the political empowerment of women is also very crucial. So recently, if we take it into the context, 33 percentage reservation bill has been passed, and women have been given 33% reservation in legislature, both the Lok Sabha and also state legislature. So therefore, in this context, women have also play, or women can also play a very important role. So if we mention the example of our former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, she when she was a Prime Minister, she took a very tough decisions. So those decisions, even our male prime ministers were not even taken. So the Indo-Pakistan war, and she was also able to balance the bipolar world by friendship treaty with the former Soviet Union. So in this context, the political empowerment of women is also very important. So therefore, women has also been facing some of the challenges. So you should also mention some of the challenges women have been facing. So therefore, it results in a comprehensive and a holistic answer. So firstly, there are certain challenges women have been facing. Okay, so first and foremost challenge is women very often treated as a subordinate to her male counterpart. A secondary treatment of a girl child in a family is the first and foremost challenge. The second challenge, there are several cultural taboos being attached. For example, it is related to menstruation. So woman cannot enter into the home when she was in menstruation. Woman cannot touch the other people who are part of the family when she was menstruation. So such cultural taboos have been still you know uh, uh, there are still limitations in the woman empowerment. So after that, there is a lack of gender sensitive infrastructure. Now gender sensitive infrastructure is also very important, particularly in the public places. So when a woman lack the gender specific and gender sensitive infrastructure, they very often face the sexual abuse, sexual harassment from the male counterparts. So after that, the workplace safety is also very important for women to achieve the meaningful participation of women in the workforce. Now after that, the low female labor force participation rate and low representation of women in Indian Parliament. So around 14 percentage of women have been given representation. So total number of uh, out of total number of parliamentarians, only 14% are women. So therefore, there is a need for increasing women participation in Indian Parliament as well. So ultimately, so you have to emphasize on the empowerment and awakening of women for the overall development of the nation, and particularly for a country like India. So in the conclusion, you just emphasize on that aspect. Okay. So therefore, the next question, so which we need to talk about, is particularly about you know oh, sorry. So the next question which we should really talk about is about emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. So what really matters for success, character and happiness and lifelong achievement is a definite set of emotional skills. Okay, so emotional skills means emotional intelligence of a person. So emotional intelligence is very important for success, character building and happiness of any individual or any particular community. So this EQ is also called as emotional quotient. So not just the cognitive abilities are important, not just the cognitive abilities are important, but emotional quotient is very important within the individuals. So this could be measured by conventional IQ tests. The cognitive abilities can be measured by the conventional intelligent quotient test. So rather than intelligent quotient, the emotional quotient is very important for success, character, and happiness. Now we need to write. So do we agree with this above view that emotional intelligence is more important than intelligent quotient? And if we agree with the above statement, then we need to give reasons in support of our arguments. So giving reasons means we should also give certain examples to prove that the emotional intelligence or the emotional quotient is more important than intelligent quotient. So firstly, intelligent quotient. So intelligent quotient stands for, the meaning of intelligent quotient is assessing a person's cognitive abilities. So it is just a cognitive abilities, it is nothing to do with the person's emotions. Okay, so therefore it is assessing person's cognitive abilities. So that include reasoning, problem solving, memory, and analytical skills. So these all factors come under intelligent quotient. Okay, so this can be measured, all these factors can be measured through a test, the IQ test. However, on the other hand, when we talk about the emotional intelligence, so this emotional intelligence has been described by two individuals. One is Peter Salovey and John Mayer. So they have described and defined what exactly emotional intelligence constitutes. So emotional intelligence is a skill to recognize, understand, handle emotions of both oneself and others. So if we define emotional intelligence in simple terms, it is the ability among the individuals to understand and identify one's own emotions. Okay, so one's own emotions and emotions of other individuals. So therefore the response of this particular individual will conform to the emotions of other individual, and it results in connecting one's heart with others heart. And that is where a, a sustainable, more reliable solution for a particular problem may arises. So the degree of emotional intelligence in an individual is termed as a emotional quotient. So if a particular individual holds a certain degree of emotional intelligence, so that could be called as emotional quotient. Now, you can also write the quote given by the Daniel Goleman with respect to emotional intelligence. So, what Daniel Goleman has held is, uh, you know, emotional quotient is result in 80 percentage of professional success. On the other hand, intelligent quotient would contributes to just 20% of the success. So he emphasizes on emotional quotient of an individual. So therefore, he further stresses on emotional quotient, as it is a very important for success, character, and happiness and lifelong achievements of any individual. So therefore, every individual should develop the emotional quotient. So without emotional quotient, just through the intelligent quotient, an individual cannot achieve success in the long term. So right. So this perspective is supported by several compelling reasons. Compelling examples have also been given. So firstly, when an individual wanted to, achieve a particular goal, he wanted to achieve success, emotional quotient obviously surpasses the intelligent quotient. So because the emotional quotient, very often fosters collaboration, leadership, adaptability, and they are very important for professional success or individual academic success of any individual. So therefore, emotional intelligence is more important than intelligent quotient. So over a period of time, emotional quotient will results in ethical leadership of individuals, and it will also promote teamwork and empathy and results in the good work culture of an organization. So apart from that, we can also mention the example of Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs used to have a very high emotional quotient. So with this emotional quotient, he used to revolutionize the products, so under the brand name of Apple. So therefore his empathetic designs in Apple have resulted in, a lasting and global success. So on the other hand, there are several other businessmen like Vijay Mallya and Subrata Roy. So they failed because of they lack emotional intelligence despite they have a high intelligent quotient. So therefore emotional quotient is a very important for individuals. So emotional quotient will also, helps in developing character. Okay. So with the emotional quotient, a person can develop, cultivate his character. Now, over a period of time, when a person develops good character, so that will give rise to empathy, the values like empathy, integrity, and moral values. So these ultimately, results in a good conduct, good character, good attitudes in a particular individual. So therefore, the high emotional quotient among the individuals will result in ethical behavior, and it will also foster trust and respect for others. We can mention the example of Mahatma Gandhi here. So because Mahatma Gandhi during his Champaran Satyagraha, so he understood the emotions of the farmers. So he gave up his rich life at the time itself. So therefore, since he could empathize with the masses through his emotional quotient, he became a mass leader. So he understood the people's sufferings, and therefore he was guided by the principles of non-violence and satyagraha, and that helps attract masses. Now, when we talk about happiness, so happiness is also a very important value, okay, a very important thing that could be achieved through practice of emotional quotient, or that could be achieved through emotional quotient. So, in this context, also emotional quotient takes precedence over intelligent quotient, because emotional quotient very often helps individuals. They can manage stress, they can also cultivate resilience and maintain positive outlook towards individuals objects, and that's where it is, the emotional quotient is the essence. So for example, Dalai Lama's enduring joy. So Dalai Lama used to say that, emotional quotient is at the root of happiness. Okay, so therefore Dalai Lama's enduring joy is actually rooted in compassion, emotional balance. So this exemplifies the importance of emotional quotient. So how emotional quotient has been contributing to the value of happiness. So after that, even if we wanted to, you know, uh, assume a leadership position, so even we wanted to work as a team, so emotional quotient plays a very important role. So because we understand the emotions of our team members, right? So it is also said that the emotional intelligence requires, understanding one's own emotions, and it also involves motivation, social skills, self assessment, sorry, self, social awareness, self regulation, and empathy. So these are the five elements of emotional intelligence. So these five elements play a very effective and impactful role in assuming the leadership positions and also teamwork. So ultimately, that results in a good work culture because it motivates others. We can motivate others, and it also helps in understanding the dynamics of a team. So apart from that, if a particular individual wanted to be successful throughout his or her professional career, so therefore in that perspective also, emotional intelligence or intelligent quotient plays a very important and a very significant role because it very often hinges on perseverance, and it results in adaptability and ability to learn from failures. So that particular individual could be able to learn from his or her failures. So therefore emotional quotient fosters these qualities. So these emotional quotient will encourage individuals, so they view setbacks as a opportunities for growth. Okay, so in the conclusion you can just mention about the importance of emotional quotient, or you can also mention some of the aspects through which you can develop the emotional intelligence. How can we develop emotional intelligence? For example, you can emphasize on practice of yoga, meditation, training training and also you can emphasize on, spending the work life balance, etc. So this way you can develop emotional intelligence. So okay, so therefore this is all for today, and in the next session we will discuss a few more questions. So thank you.